Empower, support, love. That's true beauty.
Allowing God to use me to inspire others.
She is clothed with strength and dignity.
Welcome to Sis To Sis.
Hey, y'all. Did y'all miss us? Because we sure missed you. Look, watch, like, and subscribe to our channel at Sis To Sis 1988, as well as follow us on all our social media platforms at Sis To Sis 1988.
Grounded in that sort of positivity, and she's going to stick to what she knows, is likely not going to work, ultimately.
So my question would be this. Do you give them the feeling and the comfort to know when they want to vent that they can? Because it sounds like when they want to, you kind of try to nip it. And I do feel like people should be able to vent when they want to vent. If they want to vent for 2 or 3 days, I can understand 6 months or, 4 months or,
But look, he like, look.
But do you, when they come to you with whatever the situation is that they're in a mood about, are you automatically
chipper
invalidating it and saying, okay, get over it, it's okay? Or do you hit them with that, or do you give it a little bit?
Because honestly, though, like if I'm in my feelings and I'm still mad about something, and you over there all happy, I might feel a way about it.
It's gonna piss you off even more.
Right.
So that's what I'm asking.
That's a different question, but it's the same thing.
It goes in conjunction.
Yes.
Well, it ain't got to be anything necessarily that's in between you and the woman.
Right.
But what if it's something that happened to her at work or something that happened within the family, and she comes home and want to talk about it?
Yes, and how do I deal with that?
Do you allow her time
to vent?
Give her time to?
Because it sounded like you cut it off.
And
you like
all positivity every day.
Like don't affect my positive space right now.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like.
I try my best. I try my best to push to be socially and personally aware. So here, let me answer your question first. The way I would answer that question is absolutely. Again, I am a human being. And I am not a robot. There's times where I just want to vent. And I'm an extrovert. I'm a talking mother. You know what I'm saying? So very much so when I'm under distress, I'm going to say something as well. So I will absolutely allow someone to vent. I will absolutely let, even if it does take you some time, I think you do need to process those moments. Those emotions. But wallowing in them is where I cut them
right,
line.
not wallow, but it's like at first, as you were explaining, which I think is beautiful. That makes you a beautiful person.
Thank you.
But it comes a concern when being in a relationship with you.
Yes,
I'm mad and I want to talk. I want to. You ain't gonna believe it. And you listen to me, and then you be like, well. It's gonna be okay.
And y'all look over at you smiling. And I'm
you should have turned the other cheek.
Right.
No. I root for my team. Like, I think even you guys know, like, I root for my team. You know what I'm saying? So how you feeling is, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna exhibit that emotion. I'm not gonna be mad because you're mad. I'm not. But I am going to provide a safe space for you to be upset, for you to go through your emotions and process it. Absolutely. I'm not overriding people's feelings and just like, nah, you shouldn't be upset because tomorrow everything's gonna be fine.
That would get on my nerves.
No, but I will tell y'all this. This is the disclaimer with that, is that me within myself, if I'm venting to you with an issue, I tend to bring my own solutions. These are things that I could do. This is what I've observed. So I'm never going to personally tell you something that I just want you to hear me out on and me not say anything. So I've gotten that feedback, is I vent and you have almost an answer for everything. I don't override again, but okay, well, you're saying that, this is probably not the best example, but I didn't budget correctly. This person's trying to do this to me. 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna say, well, do I need to pick you up? or you know, do you need me to spot you for? I'm going to come with a sort of solution. Okay. I'm not going to hear your cries, whether honestly, platonic or romantically. I'm not going to hear what you're going through and just be like, well, shit. You know, at least I'm not going through that. I'm not very great at turning a blind eye to stress because, again, like I'm not even going to bring something to someone's attention unless I come with my solution. So I do get that a lot. Not everyone's like you, Adarian. I get that a lot, right? Again, romantically, platonically, same sex and opposite sex. I get that a lot. But yes, you can safely vent, but I'm going to provide some sort of solution, without a doubt.
Okay.
I was actually interested to hear, I kind of kept quiet because I know we have other interactions, which I won't go into all of that outside of Sis to Sis as well. But when she asked a question about that and then you responded and she asked, how does that work for you, positivity? It's so positive in a relationship because I see you in other situations where things sometimes get a little tense and have a little friction and things like that. So I was just wondering, how does that work? Because I know for me, it kind of your positivity rubs off on me, honestly. Oh, wow. And you're very good with deflecting. So when someone gets upset, you're very good with deflecting and kind of getting it off of that. But I will come in behind you and say as well too, what you're saying is right. You will offer solutions. So if someone is venting about something, you know, you've been about that, and then you also offer solutions, which is something usually you want, you know, within a relationship. So when she asked the question, you know, about that, I was really interested to see. So it's interesting that you say though that you being positive can sometimes be challenging because either it comes out as that you're fake, or it's just kind of maybe just too much, you know, for them. But to me, I would think that a woman would really.
You would think it would be ideal, right?
To be honest.
Well, I think the reason what I think it is though, just like if you think about real life situations, it's just the way it sounds is that he is like swiping. Well, look at it like this. That's what it seems like you're going to do.
But what I'm saying is from experience. That's not how it is though, so it's interesting.
I mean, I share your perspective of it because I hear about you know, women giving, you know, from my perspective, I see women do some of the most brazen, some of the most insane things, some of the most loyal, some of the most home nurturing things for men who could never deserve it, right? Who could never ever.
It's in us. Sometimes
here's
we
the
don't even
funny
mean to do it.
I know it. Here's what's so funny about it is during those times, right, I hear these women, right, platonic friendships at this point, right, they're venting about their man and they're like, man, like, you know, we did this and that, I gave him this, and when my tire was flat, I had to call my mom, or I had to call you, Ladarian, I had to, or, you know, when my baby needed diapers or something, like this man was not there for me, but here this woman is pouring. So here's my theory on that and why I bring it up is because if a woman genuinely likes you, a lot of that stuff just goes out the window. I'm sorry. It's the truth. A lot of the base ground morals, like if she really enjoys you and wants to be like that for you, a lot of things are going to change within that woman. I can acknowledge that. But I don't think that they should settle for less than those responses and ideals. But for some reason, it sounds way better on paper than it actually is to have that. So you would think that all these women would be like, oh my God, he has all these. It just doesn't work that way. And maybe it may be a way that I'm presenting it or something. But nah, oftentimes it's like, okay, this dude is too positive. Like this dude got all the answers. Like, so I just know that my partner is just going to be ultimately particular. I just understand that. I've come to terms with that. But it's way better on paper, Calandra, than it is in person. So a lot of women say that they want somebody who's focused and attentive.
I was just about to say, maybe it's one of those things where it's like we don't want what's really good for us. Meaning us as women. Right. Yeah.
I think that the typical woman just wants like a masculine man, just wants a very very forward, leadership oriented man. I don't think he needs to have necessarily the positive qualifications that I have, or necessarily the answers or rush to help. I don't think he has to have that these days. I think that's a qualification within me that sounds a lot better on paper than it actually is, because you got to think about the pressure that's on myself to do those things. I've set such a relationship with everybody that I've met, and the way that I carry myself is almost defined, and I have to uphold that, and I do that because I love it. So for you to now have to uphold that and live by this way, and you don't even believe it truly, it's tough. So it does absolutely cause rifts in my romantic relationships. Sometimes platonic as well. Not as likely, because usually you say your piece and y'all go separate ways, and they come back and oh, I did like this, or I did, or I don't, and you move forward. But romantically, without a doubt, causes stress.
But I can see what you said earlier about a person they never had it.
Yeah.
So they can't receive it.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the main thing. It's like, okay, you never had a guy to do those things. So how am I supposed to receive this that he's giving to me right now? Is it true? Is it genuine? That's his way of blowing me off.
Yep. What is it?
So it's kind of, they're trying to figure it out, basically.
Yeah.
And so later on, they're probably like, you know what? I had a good thing and I let it go, man.
I think that will be a huge story for me, as a lot of people will look back ultimately, and I know I still have so much to go, and by all means, I know I'm not perfect. I know that I have a lot of growing to do, but it's just that what I've managed to understand and do at this point, before even having the resources, and I'm just making my way. So I think a lot of people will look back, especially romantic, and be like, damn, like, wow, like,
they'll
this
appreciate
dude was
it
really
now.
in my corner, you know? But people, a wise lady told me that people value different things.
True that.
You
They
know what
do.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
So maybe
true.
that's not what they value. And who are we to say that they should value those things?
Correct.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
That's
So we got some
true.
problems if I got a flat and I gotta call somebody else.
Huh?
That's a problem for me.
Man.
That
So,
is.
but
I'm
to each
sorry.
his own. That's just as bad as being at the being at the gas station, pumping the gas, and it's the dude sitting in the car. It's just, I'm like,
I done heard
what you doing?
grandeur stories of breakfast in bed and just all these things that these women are doing for these men, just to find out that when you needed something,
They're not gonna be there.
nowhere to be found. And honestly, it's not even his fault. I told you, naivety. People probably should take advantage of you. You give me,
Because a lot of everybody
I have
wants
heard
this.
that too. They said if you that pick me girl that's willing to do whatever, he gonna run right through you. He gonna do it because he can.
You don't feel
That's
no
it.
type of way about
You
it.
gonna be there.
That's
You
it.
gonna do
If
it.
you don't
and
have,
he gonna take it.
I think everybody, men and women. Let me be sure I say this.
Yeah.
Men and women should have some. You ought to have some things that
Yes.
boop, boop, boop.
Boundaries.
You have to have some bullet points.
Yes.
Boop, 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 boop.
Some boundaries,
Because
some
being this
standards,
free, just however you, it doesn't matter. You're gonna get done. And you're gonna get done every time.
Every single time.
You're gonna
time.
get done.
Every time.
So yeah,
So-
that's the biggest challenge in me being a person, such a positive person, is I want to see the best in everyone, but
Sure.
people are not.
Like I said,
perfect.
that makes you a beautiful person.
Thank you.
It makes you a
Thank
beautiful
you.
person, and I think you're going to have a successful relationship with that openness. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that it's reciprocated for you.
Yep.
Thank you.
I just hope it's
Lord.
reciprocated for you. I wish that for you. So
No.
So that brings me to like right now, 2022. What's your outlook on dating today, right now? How do you view the dating world?
oh my God, that was a laugh.
how do you view this dating world we in?
I hate dating. I
hate it too.
genuinely
I hate it too.
hate dating
I
because
agree.
I'm not a cat and mouse type of guy. Again, I treat in court, and it's not to. I know a lot of men will do that and try to own you. So please be aware of that. Be aware that a lot of these gentlemen, they think because they footing bills and taking care of you, they can treat you any type of way. So be aware of that. But no, I treat because it's me. You know, I couldn't see myself allowing a woman to totally take care of me. I'd rather 50-50 everything before I let you, just take care of me. Now,
Right.
maybe she could foot a bill or two. I love the gestures, but ultimately I like the treat in court. And where I'm going with that is, I'm sorry, ask me that question one more time. I just want to make sure.
What is your outlook
on dating?
on dating?
in 2020.
2022.
With that,
about to be 2023.
with me being a treater and a quarter, again, a lot of people tend to, even if it's inadvertently, people inadvertently take advantage of you as well. They just don't make the best decisions, and same for me. So with that, with me being a positive person, with me treating and courting, a lot of times I end up feeling like I wasted my time. You know what I'm saying? That I should maybe not have been as willing is what I find out. So with that, I just told you guys that with me being positive, I have to try at everything I do. I'm not fulfilled, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I mash buttons on a video game, a lot of my friends don't like to play anymore because I take it too serious, right? I learn everything. I learn all the pieces. When I'm in a place of employment, I want to learn. I want to understand. I'm asking questions. So a lot of the times it causes a rift in dating because I'm taking it so serious, and I'm receptive, and I'm understanding. I'm learning, and I've left. I'm very honest. I've stopped dealing with a woman who wasn't doing so well for herself financially, which is cool because I'm treating and courting. But during our conversation, you told me that waiting in the food stamp line was for 30 minutes was too much for you. That was too much effort for you. I can't deal with that, because now I'm going to start asking you all sorts of questions about what you're doing.
I would.
Come on now. But with that makes dating tough for me because I'm going to ask that question like, I don't care what you look like. You know what I'm saying? If you can't wait in the line for 30 minutes for yourself, I don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put nothing in you. I don't want to give you nothing. Nothing of the sort. So it makes dating a drag for me because I just want to be able to say my part, hear your part, and then show up is the way I see myself. I'm a show up type of guy. I am 100% going to be what you need from me, but it's not to a point that you're going to take from me being me. I'm not going to be a drone or a yes man. I'm going to speak my piece.
So what's your cutoff? But so you meet somebody today, you court her, take her out. Like, what's your cutoff? Like, okay, she just using me, or she's trying to get over. Like, what is your kind of like? Okay, I gotta let this go.
Like, what is her actions?
Yes,
basically.
What red flags? Essentially,
because you gave one. You gave one saying she didn't want to stand in line for 30 minutes.
Non-negotiable.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you're non-negotiable, which you just can't tolerate.
I would say, really, guys, I have one red flag. It's effort. It's effort. If I perceive anything as a lack of effort, I mean, I guess the best example, not everybody's the best style-wise, right? So if I see that you came in sweats, like you didn't come dressed to the occasion, that's fine, so long as I can see that maybe you still got some sort of coordination. Maybe you don't, you just can't not try with me. I think that's the only red flag. If it seems like there's no intention or effort being applied, I think that's my only red flag. I'll work with and deal with most things because I was not always who I am, and I know that I will not always be who I am right now. So just effort. Effort is my non-negotiable. If anything to me feels like you half-ass it or you sweep it under the rug, I'm going to bring it up, and ultimately it's probably going to be the downfall of everything, ultimately.
Okay. So how do you work through challenges in a relationship?
Y'all probably really gonna laugh at me for this. But I don't have many challenges. It's not a lot you can't discuss with me openly. It's not a lot that, I'm not saying that you're gonna like everything I do, but I have a motivation and a reason why I did it. I'm very intentional. So I'm not gonna do anything that I just knew was backhanded or underhanded so a lot of my challenges in my relationships come from that person not being ready to receive, I haven't had a bunch of me being sneaky and sliding around. I ain't had a lot of that done to me. It's usually like this person is not ready to receive. That's typically the case for me. So I don't think it's peachy keen and roses being in a relationship with me. But I don't present a lot of problems. I'm very career focused. I have a lot of hobbies that could potentially distract me from. So I guess maybe that's the biggest challenge is my time, right? Am I devoting enough time to this woman? But 9 times out of 10, again, if we've discussed it, if we've said something about it, I've probably heard you and provided a solution on top of that. So it's not really a lot of challenges in being in a relationship with me.
So what was your longest relationship? Because you didn't have no challenges. So what's the longest
My longest relationship was about 6.5, maybe 7 years. Yeah, it was a very long time. Yeah.
Okay, that's common law.
He didn't say they were living together.
No, we were.
Okay.
I've always been a provider. Yeah. Always been a provider. I lived with this woman for out of those 7 years, at least maybe five 4.5 years of that did I have her living with me. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and ask the question. I know what's coming next. Gonna ask what happened.
What
If you wanted to share.
Yeah, because I was gonna be like, so
I'm gonna ask what
But
happened.
since you brought it up, I mean.
What happened was, again, like, people have to be ready to receive those types of things. So I was very young at the time, and what would happen was I was calling out a lot of fear in this woman. Like, she was so afraid of her own potential. She didn't want to pursue. She would quit a lot of jobs. She would stop. She dropped out of school, and all those things were fine. But if you're gonna be in a relationship with me, you got to do something. I'm not saying you got to be the breadwinner. You don't have to be a homemaker. You don't have to be anything in particular. You got to be something, though.
Right.
It just, over a course of time of trying to teach and mend and lead this woman, I came to a point in my life where I realized that it was time for me to either marry this woman or walk away. And I reflected and I said, man, a lot of her habits and a lot of the things that she carries forward, I wouldn't want my children to learn. I wouldn't want them to think a lot of those habits and things are okay. So rather than playing with her any further, I just let it go. I went ahead
I respect that. Because you got
tough.
people that would date you for 10 years.
and not.
So I keep hearing you say she got to be doing something, right? So what if she came to you and said, I want to be a stay-at-home wife?
Because that is a job. That's a job.
No, I'm asking because you like, she got to be doing
That's
something,
a job.
no matter what it
Keeping
is.
the house.
She could be selling products on Amazon. She can be whatever, a waitress, whatever. It don't matter. But what I want to be a stay-at-home wife. How would you answer that? She came to see you. She's like, I want to stay at home.
Laughing may make you think I have a problem with that. I would say that would be the most ideal situation for who I am. That would probably be the best thing to ever happen to me. However, again, it sounds good on paper. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're gonna do that, I expect you to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta do it well.
You can't get away with that. You're gonna have to really be a housewife, is what that means. So I'm a provider innately. These are opportunities and things that I look for. I like being a treater, a quarter, a provider. So yeah, come on, let's do it. But
she gonna have to do it well, like.
and that's also where I want to draw the line too, because she don't have to do it quote unquote well. She may suck at it. You know what I'm saying? She may not be the best. I'm gonna coach. I'm gonna help. I'm gonna lead. I don't expect this woman to have all the answers, but effort.
Gives her best effort, yeah.
Okay.
The best foot forward, yeah.
Effort. Look, I did this, I did that. That's enough for me. You're gonna win with me every time.
That she tried.
You're gonna win every time.
She's like, she might not be a good cook, but you came home and dinner was ready.
It
wasn't good, but it was ready.
That's why that's why we got DoorDash.
Yes, that's why we got
DoorDash and Uber Eats.
Because I am gonna tell you now. I'm like, hey, that was a little salty.
Gonna have a blood pressure.
But I'm gonna work with you. Who gonna be in the cookbooks with you is me. Who gonna be,
see? That's how you supposed to do it.
Something from the store is me. I'm gonna work with you.
Okay.
But for you just to have blatantly no effort, well, we'll end up back at square one. You ain't gotta be that. But maybe this ain't for you. Let's move on to something else. Maybe be an IT woman. You know what
I mean? Something.
You like,
gotta be doing
the housewife thing ain't working.
It ain't working for you. So, you have to be able to take constructive criticism and know that dating me, I take things seriously. That means everything. Unfortunately and unfortunately. It means everything. So, if they are prepared, if that is something they are seeking within their lives, I don't think you could find too much more of a leader and a nurturer than me. I don't think there's too many other stops. But if that's not where you are genuinely putting your efforts towards, I'm going to piss you off. And you're going to hit your breaking point along, because you're doing it for me instead of for yourself.
Right.
And it's never going to feel like
so
I'm
true.
demanding and that I always want something, when in reality, I just want you to be better for you, right? You should leave this relationship, should you leave it, far better than the condition you showed up in,
right.
for sure. For sure. And I think anybody who's dating me could say that.
Oh.
Huh.
Did we get some eyes?
Yes, huh?
That is funny.
How?
He
Hello.
looking at somebody to
Look.
challenge that one.
Hint, hint.
We just got
Okay.
yeah, okay, and we're back. But okay, so do you think honest? How you gonna grade yourself? Do you take criticism well? How do you take criticism? So she come to you and say, because you think you're doing a good job, right? You do provide, you doing this, you doing that, you being positive, but she come not really. So how do you reflect off of that?
It's funny how so much stuff comes full circle because what ends up happening in those moments is I'm so willing to change things that they're like it may make me seem like a yes man. Like, you know what? You provided rational thought. It makes sense to me. Sure, you know what I'm saying? Like I can make this adjustment, or I'll reflect on, okay, so this is what you're asking me. You're asking me to be conscious about something that I didn't know. Cool. You know, like this is how I'll do it. So I compartmentalize things to a point to where I look at it as an adjustment, not me changing myself. So it's just like, maybe I don't care about having groceries in the fridge. Sorry, maybe that's a terrible example, but you know, if you're telling me that you want to make sure you got groceries, that's a P for you. Well, I'll just make it a point to me and say, well, okay, I need to have Walmart groceries ready on Friday. That don't change nothing in my day. I make adjustments as necessary. So I'm totally willing. I'm totally willing. And sometimes that could come off as me being fake, for sure. But they're like, wow, it was that easy? Like,
Gotcha.
I stated my disposition with you, and you're just so cool with changing it. Wow. So if you're not prepared to receive this, it's all great on paper.
Okay. Well, do you ladies have any other questions for Mr. Ladarian?
Look at me like we should.
What's good? Yeah,
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, to me, I feel like you're really good with deflecting things. But how do you make that choice on when it's good to deflect someone from a situation that they're getting hung up on? Because to me, it seems like you do that really well. Even just with me directly, I know you've done that before a couple of times actually. Which to me, I think it's like I say, it rubs off on me, and it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I am hung up on this a little bit too much, and sometimes I even have to laugh at you. That's usually what happens. Later in the day, I may think about it and I laugh, honestly. But how do you make those choices? How do you know when it's an okay time to do that? Because sometimes it's very stressful and tense situations, and you do that, but you do it well.
Have you guys ever seen like a kid on Christmas morning? Like you know that they wake up and everything in them, with what they know, they believe their presents are going to be under the tree. And you could, at that point, you could get them the cold hard facts of life. And you'd be like, it would be trespassing if this guy was to come down your chimney. Like you could really tear down this whole thing with all this logic.
Shouts out to the bull, because that's exactly what the bull did. When I was young, I said, Mom, I've been good at Santa coming, and she said, I'm Santa.
She ripped the rug.
Yep.
So funny.
So
to answer your
good
question,
example.
To answer your question, I gotta watch how I explain it, because I'm not insulting anybody's intelligence. I don't ever believe that I'm more intelligent in moments. I see where someone's at and what they're focused on and what happens, what matters to them, and I'm able to separate what I feel like is reality, and then separate again my own wishes and desires. So what that allows me to do is look at a common ground and say, okay, I can probably wait, and I don't always put myself last, right? I'm able to maybe I do get miles in front, but like maybe you won't understand that at that moment because you're so focused on one thing. So I'm able to separate it and look at what's really happening here. And so if you're at me about one particular thing, if I start telling you about the science of it, how it really works, and why you shouldn't really be concerned about that, you're not going to give a damn, because you still want what you want. You know, you still want to see the results that you do. So I have learned within myself how to separate these things so I can tackle what they want and not have to hit them with reality all at once. Somebody told me that honesty without tact is cruelty. And so I thought that was such a profound thing that I heard. So now everything is tactical with me. So maybe I will back off for now with something that's on my mind or something, but I'm coming back to you. See, when we discussed it before, these were the solutions that I offered, and this is why. So I'll just bring it back at a different time, or I'll get mine on the back end or something. But no, I'm not gonna like hold someone's point into it until I get it. I feel like leadership is something I was blessed and born with, so I'm able to put myself aside and join the team to make sure that we all get what we need, and then I'll get mine. In that, I know I'm going to be good without a doubt. So that's how I make those decisions based on what they're excited about, what they're enthused about, what's bothering them, and I break it down to reality. I can see your perspective on that, and at one point I may have even had that perspective, and I can say, okay, well, this is what needs to be done for now to keep this going, and then I'll come back and I'll patch these things over time. Growth and learning knowledge takes time. Takes experience, so no, I'm not gonna force everybody to get the perspective.
But you, I think you might have missed the question just slightly, because like in the middle of something, you'll ask, "What's your favorite fruit?"
In the middle?
Yes. And so maybe you're doing it and don't even realize that you're doing it, but you're deflecting it, you know. And really, it makes you almost change your mood. It's like, okay, really, it makes you calm down, makes the other person, you know, kind of calm down. Or next thing, it may be a tense situation, and you have, I know it's off screen over here. We know we talked about it, but you play the guitar.
Right.
You come out and you're strumming the guitar.
Out of the blue.
Yes, out of the blue.
Okay. Well then, I understand a lot more what you asked me then.
Which it changes the mood for everybody else that's around you. Part of that, you know, staying positive and being positive when it's a heavy, tense situation.
I see now. That would be in the root of this show, which was being positive.
Right.
I can argue with you and disagree with you and everything, but I still love you. You know what I'm saying? And with that, I still want to share everything that I love with the people I love. And so, yeah, like I still want to know your favorite colors, and regardless of how much I don't want to deal with you at that moment, like I still love you. And so I guess that's what it is. So yeah, I'm not intentionally thinking about like, let me diffuse this situation by asking names.
It's just natural.
But it's natural that I want to share like, yeah, we got this thing going on right here.
And even if it's not directly with you, I'm saying it can be with someone totally, different.
No, I'll put it to the side because we may be waiting on a piece of information or something to settle our disagreement. But by the way, how's your wife doing? Or, you know, I still want to know. I still love these people. I'm still very involved and enthused. I know we got to come back tomorrow. So I do still care. So that's just genuinely me. I give a damn about what you're going through and what I see from, again, not just particular people, but people I deal with. If I'm interacting with you, I love you. I deal with you. I'm very serious about seeing you through to the end. So I still have questions and want to share all my favorite stuff.
When you deflect this, sometimes it's funny. It breaks the ice. Then let me say that. It's interesting, especially when you're strumming that guitar.
What the hell? I'm like, wow, nothing gets this guy down. Yeah, no, I mean I'm human, but no, I love my folks, man. I love my folks for sure.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay.
Well,
until next time,
there's strength in sisterhood
and support in sisterhood.
Bye.